So I just posted the links to the two confession cards. North-South play a natural 5-card major system, and East-West, as is popular in China, play a strong club. It's common that over a redouble showing power that jumps a preemptive, and so that if you have a good hand, you pass the redouble first and then bid again later. Whether or not North bids 3 diamonds here, it doesn't really improve South's hand. However, the barrage may drive them into it, and there's only essentially one way to play it, and it happens to make. I agree. I think perhaps South has the option of passing and pooling to show a serious slam try, but if you look at this hand, the extra trump length doesn't really help that much after a certain point, because you still need tricks and controls. For slam to be good, you need partners to essentially have both red aces or ace king of diamonds. And if partner had the ace king of diamonds and the king of spades, well, they might have taken a 3 diamond call. Absolutely agree. Often, I would think, what would I have done, or what would my club friends have done? And you often see them over-evaluating singleton or doubleton ace-kings in the opponent's suit, which is great for control, but where is your 12th or 13th trick coming from? Whereas shortness in the opponent's suit is very, very powerful for slam. Yes, so they play a strong club, and their 1 diamond opening is 1+. Okay, David, I'll try and talk more. Well, I'm nearly always hungry anyway, so if your wife wants to send me some food, that's fine too. So it looks like a fairly straightforward. Thanks. It looks like a fairly straightforward push here. Just so that the audience are aware, a strong club is on any 16 plus if unbalanced or 17 plus if balanced. They're opening 1-0 trump is a modern 14 to 16. Likely they will open a weak no trump with 1 diamond, planning to rebid 1 no trumps, and their 2-level bids are fairly modern precision clubs treatment, so that 2 clubs shows clubs, or possibly only 5 of them if they have a 4-card major. And their 2 diamond bid is a multi, showing a major. And their 2 hearts is the old-fashioned Roman type hand with short diamonds. That used to be open 2 diamonds, but modern treatment is to play that as 2 heart opening, which gives up very little. And finally, there are 2 spades is spades in a minor. Think of a clear Lucas style in Europe. Note that in precision system, in a limited system where 1 heart has a limit of about 15, 16, it's pretty good. West doesn't need to beat about the bush on many types of hands at 4 major. Whether they double now or not clarifies if their holy was particularly strong. South is perhaps worried. One thing having watched and commented on a bunch of these sets is that courageous bidding, not foolhardy, but courageous, initial bidding has really paid off, and it's definitely a theme of modern bridge and probably old bridge as well. That good players will get in aggressively and will punish if the opponents get it wrong. West had guess here, who's making what? Guess wrong, and 300 is the price to pay. I can't imagine there being a forcing pass situation here, and if there is, there shouldn't be. But West's full hearts in a limited system can be bid on many types of hands, where you get there fast because you know your opponent doesn't have a great hand, they would have opened a club, or it's preemptive. And the problem with this quacky hand is it's somewhere in the middle. As we can see, the limit of the hand is 3 hearts. Indeed, par is something like three spades. Although, I suppose par is actually 3 hearts because 3 spades could theoretically double. Wait, that would make. But anyway, so West has decided to take the push, and I think it's unwise. You don't have additional shape. You have those trumps, but you don't have any controls. East has quite a good hand here, much more than is needed for position 1 heart opening. It seems normal to have done it without, say, the king of diamonds, maybe. Maybe abnormal, but East doesn't necessarily have to be so quite as good. And then you're going for 500. Oh yes, absolutely. And I'm not saying that it's a particularly bad vintage for 5 hearts, but as the decision was kind of made at 4 hearts. I mean, the hand is, as you can, well, high card is not so bad. If you had wanted part 4 to 7 forcing pass, you could have made a limit raise or some kind of game trial variant, and then you would have got partners a pin. And East certainly would not be wanting to go to 5 hearts. But once you choose to pick 4 hearts, now you've put yourself to the gas later. In fact, it succeeded initially in putting North to the gas, 4 spades, but now you have to decide again, and so. The 1-0 trump response to the strong club is showing 8 to 13, or possibly 15 plus as a strong option. If outside interference, the strong club gives you lots of room to set the game force and agree trumps below game, so that you can make slam tries. This West hand is probably about as minimal as it gets. Nice 5-3-1-4 shape, but not nearly as good as it could be. I can't seem to find the supplementary notes for the East-West cards, but, given the auction, I suppose 3 diamonds is probably some type of spade raise, minimum in context, I don't know. And 4 spades is a very normal contract here. one thing I like to do whilst commentating is always to think about the opening lead. Is that this an excellent chance for you to see lots of different hands and lots of different defensive problems? As you say, when you're playing, often you get to be dummy or declare half the time. But I personally find defense really, really an interesting part of bridge, and you get to watch how the really good players think about the hand as a whole. You may see them sometimes continue partner suits or sometimes switch or make a strange play that's not expected to you, and you'll think why. This hand is fairly straightforward, counting tricks. The declare is known to be in a 9-card trump pit. The dummy is shown 4 pieces. So how are you going to beat this unless partner has ace doubleton of hearts? You know that the queen of clubs is on side, and that declare probably doesn't need it because of the plentiful trump position in the dummy. I also quite like the trump lead because you don't know if the diamond is going to give up a trick, and leading from ace doubleton blind is often a losing proposition. You give up on many, many holdings, and a trump against this kind of option usually doesn't lose. You have 3 of them. The opponent seems to have at least 8, probably 9, and so partner's singleton honor will always be picked up anyway. West, after the 1 spade response, is going to treat as 1 diamond and 1 no trump rebid as a weak no trump type hand. The East hand is well, it's very, very control rich, but it's 4-3-3, and opposite a ostensibly balanced partner, you're not that good. Remember, they expect 11-13. Precision openers open quite light, and so on average, opposite an average 12, well, you're close, but you're not really worth an invite. Spec is telling me that, yeah, another option is that I think they played 2 any minor forcing, I need to check, in which case that you can have the agreement that, say, after a 2 diamond check back, you can find out if the partner has a 5-card minor. Unless West rebeds to no trumps or 2 hearts, then you have a shot if partner has, say, 5 diamonds or 5 clubs. And we've, of course, seen people open these 1 diamonds with maybe 6 of them, treating it as a weak no trump. It's unlikely West has 6 clubs because they do play a natural 2 club opening. But if West does rebid 3 clubs, then East is definitely worth a try. The hand upgrades. they managed to reach 4-no trumps in the other room. And I think over 4 trumps, perhaps the West hand is worth a slam try with 6 clubs. Yes, as we see, I think 6 clubs is makeable, but I really don't think they should get there. So I think Declare will take 4 club tricks. The suit plays itself. That is Jack, if covered, Queen, King, 2, low to the 10, seeing the 9 drop, and then percentage play seems to be finesse the 7. I think for restricted choice, argument against the 8. But what do I know? The added vigor of playing clubs this way is that if by some chance the opponents are in 6 clubs, you probably think they are playing the club suit by either my suggested one or ace and running the jack. So if you play for the slightly anti-percentage line, hoping to drop queen doubleton offside, that means that the opponents are possibly failing in 6 clubs. So this is not very important at match points or so on, but at imps it can be quite important to protect against bad swings in the other room. I'm not sure that made any sense because then they were going down in 6 clubs. Sorry, I think that's not quite right. I'm just pondering. Another spec is pointing out that in such a close match, an imp's an imp's an imp, and you can't carelessly throw away one at this point in the match. Speaking from personal experience, I find it very useful to actually, when I see familiar suit combinations or whatever, to just actually think for a moment, how should I play this? I find it quite calming because it takes your mind off the rest of the tournament and other things going on, and you can just focus on something that you lock tight into your brain from prior experience. The player only has half an entry to their mind to the dummy, to the King of Hearts, and that looks like the only time to lead a diamond up. And I think the player needs that diamond trick, so I think they'll play to make. With the spade continuation, it gave up a tempo in the club suit. How would an immediate club switch have fared? Yeah, a very tight 1-0 trumps. The player is worried about going down quite a few here on a bad lie. And if the diamond suit is less favorable and the heart suit as well, even if you get the dummy, you're not going to be able to lead one up. Do you think there's a case, Dave, of playing the Queen of Hearts first? Just in case you're off a Heart 10 guess later. I mean, well, actually, there is no guess, but I say there is only one way, one entry in the dummy, so it should make a difference. Uh, for North-South, it seems like they play standard counting attitude, so high encouraging and high-low is even. Known as a defensive problem, North is still aiming to beat this. So what holdings can partner have that will actually set this one-no trump? They know that Declare can play diamonds only one way and that their Queen Doubleton is falling. So the Ten of Hearts switch played partner for something like, well, it's hard to say what partner could possibly have and that they didn't lead a heart. But maybe something like Queen 9-4. Is that good enough? I think so. There's a spade, a diamond, but in the process of losing the diamond, you set a pitch for the heart, and well, the hearts is frozen, so you might be losing two hearts if you have to break them yourself. You'll note that although West has a pretty nice looking hand, a very disciplined one spade, upgrading these 15s or 16s to one club opening with that extra length can be very dangerous because balanced 7-8 count will drive you to game, and there's often no play. Another unprepossessing choice of leads here from Noor. You got two aces and what looks like an unfavorable spade lead. So do you think they'll lead a club here? If you do lead as I said, I've already commented that leading from the ace doubleton is perhaps a bit double dummy. Also doesn't work on this hand. But there's nothing that strikes out. And the worst bad lead for the visitors, if you lead the worst bad one, and that to me looks like a club. Perhaps, well, all right, there you go. Right, I had actually forgotten that West has bid clubs as well, which makes my club suggestion not as good. So I think in that case, the worst bad lead probably is the ace of diamonds. Hope to find a partner with an honor, say, king third, or king doubleton even, or best a singleton. No, a good stop there. Quite some risk of getting a little bit too high. As you can see, 3-no trumps doesn't have good play. Presume club players won't bat an eyelid opening this hand, West hand, one spade. No, has spades, one spade. And you have some nice spots, and partner won't take you for too much in this limited system. Yes, Declare is on for quite a lot of tricks here. Note that the club 9 protects the club suit, and the heart jack makes the heart suit a lot more favorable. Helps that partners with singleton and diamonds. Yeah. Again, with the takeout double on your left, I think just the normal line seems to work. And you have the slight added vigor that South won't necessarily switch to a club. Well, yeah, I mean, what else are they going to do? But it seems like your only problem is that if South has, say, Queen Doubleton or Jack Doubleton clubs, and they decide to get a club ruff. But in that case, well, there's not much you can do about that. Right. And most of the time, always not on this hand, but most of the time, North is likely to have at least 4 hearts, let's say 4. Perhaps a slightly smaller chance now that this dummy has 5, but still, it seems percentage to think that South, say, has a Doubleton heart, and if they have 2 or 3 spades, that you leave them with longer cards in the minors. And so a Doubleton club in the South hand seems quite unlikely as well. No, we can see that Declare is likely going to make this, but Declare is worried about bad breaks, or worse breaks at least, in the heart suit, the club suit, possibly even the diamond suit. I think he expects the 3-1 break in the spade suit. I think I agree that the diamond ruff has much to gain. Early, it also cuts down on the opponent's communication. You plan to ruff the 3rd diamond high, I think. So I would just thought maybe the Queen of Spades from hand is a little bit better in that, because you need the entries to the dummy for the good heart tricks. But now a diamond continuation means that you've lost that entry. And yeah, it's looking a bit risky now. I think it's okay because if South ruffs, say, the good heart trick, North can over ruff, and that provides an extra diamond ruff in the dummy as to reestablish that communication to play another heart. So kind of treating hearts as a replacement trumps here. So as I said earlier, I like to think about why declarers, these are good declarers, chose to play on hearts first, and perhaps, or the spade first. Perhaps it is exactly for this reason that not taking early diamond roughs preserves later communications, assuming that you can set up the hearts. What do you think, Dave? I think we'll see East-West climb up to 4 hearts here. I like the 4 heart bit, going around the bush. Bit game, try to make it. Don't give the opponent too much information. And similar to the previous round, some communication issues here. You don't want your third diamond to be roughed. So remember, you need to lose a tempo in order to actually get your spade rough. Perhaps the declarer can draw 1 round of trump first. And similar to previous, perhaps the ace will be ducked again. A little bit different here in that the closed hand could only have 4 trumps, so that if the declarer plays a low heart to the queen, North might need to protect his partner's jack third and go up with the ace, which will help the declarer. But North should probably be a little bit suspicious because West wouldn't have played the 10. I don't know, because if partner had, say, jack third or jack 10 third, it's possible they would be splitting the here. In fact, they should split from jack 10 third. Good point. While we wait, speaking to, say, beginners or intermediates, they always ask me, oh, strong club, what a strange artificial system. But it's actually, well, I mean, basic version is at least very natural, in that you should think about 1 diamond as a 0-no trump, as a statement ask. You pretend, partner always assumes you have a weak no trump until explained otherwise, and they will, their first priority is to show a 4-card major. And 1 club just shows a big hand, followed up by perhaps more natural bidding than in standard, where all sorts of new suit forcings or new minor forcing situations occur. After a 1 club and not a 1 diamond bid, they're in the game force, and people tend to bid naturally, although there are variants, all sorts of relay variants. And the 2-level bids are are often natural as well, or transfer replacements of natural bits. Note that the French played the French-style two-diamond opening as sorry. I was going to say that declarers can be suspicious of North holding a weak two-type hand, because in North-South they play the French-style two-diamond as game forcing. Declarer taking a simple line here of pulling trump and hopefully being able to claim later. We saw the ace of hearts nuts, as I suggested might be a possibility. I think if the harsh break badly, you have the possibility of a double spade finesse, so that you might only need one spade ruff. That's why probably Declara chose to win the first diamond in her own hand. Sorry, I've been using he also so far. So that preserves the two diamond entries in the dummy if necessary to lead space up twice. The most important time to decide on entry issues later is at trick 1. I remember actually just earlier in the round and in the Bermuda Bowl, there was a very interesting and difficult 3-no trumps where Declare played a little bit too fast at trick 1, not from dummy, but from their own hand, failing to unblock a close spot, which later made the suit unworkable. So not only do you have to decide what hand you want to be in and which card to play, you may need to decide on unblocking as quickly as trick 1. It's often difficult to see in the balcony, seeing all 4 hands, and seeing that there's already going to be a bad break. So it's even harder when you're there and the hand may seem routine or only semi-difficult. I think the way I like to think about hands like this is the sniff test. East-west are playing position so that partner can act over a diamond, which is artificial, and East passed and then did spades twice. So they kind of, I mean, they have spades. They kind of have a great hand. And West is limited by this pass of one spade probably to a fairly bad 11 to 13. It sounds to me that partner is something like 1-4-4-4 plus or minus a card. I would be worried about missing a 10-card heart fit with this south hand. You can kind of visualize, although perhaps, the West not raising to two spades made the spade position a bit murky, so that North could perhaps have a doubleton spade here. But I think there's some reason to spade here. So as the play has shown, that we were a bit hasty here, and that the singleton spade means that it's getting tapped in the hand with the strong trumps, so that West is going to get a couple of trump tricks here, and with the king of clubs still to come. But even with that, Declare has time to rough this losing spade. So yeah, it's I don't know. I think upon, although strange actually might have been a 1-0 trump overcall of one diamond. Of course, then you'd be playing in two spades and a 5-1 fit to the 10. But it's pretty hard to catch up. And that's another thing effective about this one diamond, similar to a weak no trump opening, but different in that you bid a suit, and now it's hard for the opponents to bid in either of the minors. Versus, for instance, a Polish one club, a similar kind of idea where you open weak no trump hands one club, then it's a lot easier to act. You can still have a one diamond overcall, and you can have a natural two club overcall. So it gives that much more room. But here over the precision diamond, one of its big gains is exactly this murkiness. And you don't have the precise limited hand tie, a weak trump opening where everyone has their favorite gadgets to compete. I think that maybe the simple route for 12 tricks would be maybe to rough, set up a heart rough, spade rough if you don't get this. Uh, even with, well actually with the spade lead it's good. Um, I think the only, right, you just rough a spade. And then the nice trump position means you only lose. No, sorry, I'm talking nonsense. That loses two tricks. So what is your suggested idea? Oh, roughing out the clubs? Right. Uh, so far we're only in game, so things look pretty good for declare. If you're only trying to make four hearts, otherwise you have the in the back of your mind these overtrick scenarios. But on it looks like if it's a 3-2 break, you just can't be beat because even if you lose two spades in a trump, you're pretty good. What about 4-1 breaks? Now you'd be at risk of losing um, two trumps and two spades. So it looks like the safe play is to try and get the spade rough for a push. I think the board where east-west up from two spades, that's quite a good result. They can see that um, it, partially by momentum or methods, they might be getting too high at the other table. So there's been some good plus part scores east-west, despite the minus 300 on the first board. Second board, sorry. Lots of tricks on offer here. Is there a double squeeze for actually 13 here? South is protect diamonds and hearts, and north is protect hearts and clubs. Just as a mild esoteric thing. For those in the audience, squeezes are pretty simple. You play your big suits. Of course, here it depends on the space us. But when that holds, you have plenty of entries, and you notice that South has to keep holding onto his hearts and the long diamonds because North Jack 10 falls. Whereas North is holding his hearts in that fourth club because South's 8 falls. And that means that neither hand will be able to hold on to enough hearts, I think. So I think the 13th trick is the Jack of Hearts. But I might be wrong. I obviously am wrong. I cheated and look at GIPS and say that there are only 12. But really, this isn't the worst slam I've been in. It's on essentially one of two finesses. And a reasonable spade split with a few additional chances. Yeah, absolutely. It looks like in the written commentary, all sorts of languages are popping up.现在在国内应该是晚上，晚上所以可能会多一点人在看。So I learned a little bit of Chinese just for fun. Oh oui. You only need to count up to 13. Correct. So interesting that Declare here decided to go to fly king instead of taking the jack. Is that any comments there? So I'm not sure about this diamond return here, because what defensive holding are you playing partner for? It looks like instead you want to be attacking that heart suit. It can be, I mean, you have two tendencies to go to, but ace queen nine is a stronger holding than ace jack. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong hand again as declarer. Sorry. So it's just a guess for North which suit to attack. But at this stage of the game, when your side's entries are out, it looks like you need to attack hearts because you do have the king. Unless you think that there is still a passive defense to beat this, it doesn't seem too likely. Another push in what's been a very close and well played match so far. Set rather. I mean, if you're a super guesser, being able to drop stiff aces, maybe not the rabbi's rule. How about the rule? I think you can set some diamond tricks, but I think they will get to four spades and likely for a push. Who's going to double four spades? But of course, wrong again. I'm not sure what the system was in the other room, but there's been a couple of games on these being able to stop low in the position one club. Note that West didn't push when East showed probably 17 to 19 and decided just to get out. It went a diamond, a spade, to no trumps, and after this, which I think is one of the worst sequences in stances, my opinion, I've been justified pretty much every time it's come up. Momentum, there's no way to stop them from getting to four spades. You can't get out in those sequences. Sure, people have all sorts of complicated gadgets like Wolf sign-off or whatever to maybe get out in three spades, but that's still a minus versus being able to get out in two spades. So the Polish club or the strong club or various other treatments, anything that doesn't let you play at the 3 level or in 2 no trumps when there's no way to make it, is a big gain when it comes up and when it doesn't come up. But non-standard. I've been told by an audience member that KNR rates the West hand as about 7 points, but KNR is not really that great a judge of these, at least in my opinion, of these unbalanced hands. 6-5, you can make anything from 1 spade to 4. There are maybe a few holdings where you might be making 6. But I think KNR is an excellent judge of balanced hands. Much better. I mean, the differences between is so vast. A great judge between, much better for balanced hands. So evaluating no trumpy type hands. For those that don't know, KNR stands for Kaplan-Rubens. It's an attempt by modern players, in particular Jeff Goldsmith, to try and capture some of Edgar Kaplan's fantastic bidding judgment by properly evaluating honor cards, suit length, and playing strength for, in my opinion, better judge for no trumpy type hands. You can Google, if you like, KNR and Jeff Goldsmith if you would like to find out more. I absolutely agree, and that was why I made the caveat that KNR is really quite good for opening no trumpy type evaluation. Later on in the auction, anyone who counts high card points probably isn't really doing the right thing. Point counting is essentially pointless at auction. But for evaluating balanced no trumpy hands, it's tremendously powerful. You, of course, will edit for positional values. For instance, you hold some holding like King Jack 4, and the opponents open that ahead of you. Great. Your ostensible 4 points could be up to 2 or 3 tricks, and certainly stops and no trumps. So hand evaluation is important, and you can do all sorts of complicated counting, point counting. But what Dave is perhaps suggesting is that hand re-evaluation is what really separates good players from middling players. East making a good takeout double here. You can't sell out in this auction holding a singleton spade. Sure, you might get doubled wherever you are, but it's percentage, absolutely at any form of scoring to make a takeout double here. You can win in so many ways, and you take the odd big number. That's fine. Another good point, Dave. So the naysayers would say that, oh no, two spades is going down, but of course it's going down for relatively normal and careful play. Down 2 on maybe abnormal and uncareful play, but that's still, an imp's an imp's an imp, and plus 110 is pretty good on this board. But let's see if they can do it. Some handling charges here, needing to set up the diamond suit, control spades, avoid a heart ruff, they don't know what the break is, and well, hope to pull trumps. North might even consider ducking one round of hearts. Oh, no. But that would really screw with Declare's communications when the diamond ruff is gone. But they're trying to beat 3, and this seems a straightforward way to do it. Good. We've seen a lot of ace ducking in the trump suit today. I always like to hear if people have suggestions on, if there are inferences on the right way to play a certain. I think it's a bit of a guess here, but there's maybe a slight inference that West passed here, and at favorable colors, and East didn't reopen or make a takeout double of one spade. If you believe that East might have some values, might have balanced with two spades, you just saw them balance the previous hand. It sounds that perhaps East has longer spades. That would be my only inference, possible inference, to play the spades the other way. But it's pretty normal to play high from the short hand, hoping to go up to the long hand a few times. Well, I think the clear is already down because they know they're missing. They've already lost a trick. They've got two trumps. Oh, sorry, one trump should go. That's two. Two more clubs. It's four. Got a heart loser. I think it's five. So they need this finesse to be on. I don't think he can play it. Oh, okay. What holding does this play for? Bit of a strange time for this. I've always found that playing with regular partners, they're very accommodating about all sorts of things. Whatever I like to do, but they don't like give up plays ever. Quite rightly. I suppose you can hope for Queen Jack doubles in the heart still. But if it was going to be Queen Jack doubles of hearts, it was always going to be there, and I don't think the diamond finesse loses. Before we run out of time, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Dave and all the people in the written commentary as well, Henri and other people, and thank the specs and of course the viewgraph operators who have been super. Right, Boku. And thanks to the specs and their comments. I guess that was done actually, but yeah, thanks to the viewgraph operators who have done an excellent job. No misclicks today, no undos, no mysterious claims. So excellent, great job. And I hope to see you all tomorrow, where it's going to be pretty exciting. I think the let's say the serious rounds are about to start. I think there aren't any really close results, or so the results are. I think it is as easy as it looks in the sense that it's easy to get horribly wrong, and there's always the commentator's curse. It's quite difficult to analyze in real time, really. Bit surprising, you know. I've been much more of a watcher. I'm also fairly new to viewgraph commentary myself. Now, I really enjoy watching these very close matches. But very careful. I think East West, we've noticed in both the bidding and the play and the defense, been very careful. Very few errors, if any. So, very good stuff. good afternoon, everyone, and see you tomorrow.